Hi, I'm Dave Dinkle, and today we're here with one of our students, Jason Vanderpool. The reason we're here is to have a good time. Yeah. Jason had a very interesting deal with a multifamily property they're going to talk about. We sometimes talk about terms being more important than cash. If you have a motivated seller, price isn't the issue, and you're going to see why in this particular case. So what we're going to talk about is a multifamily property. How many units?
8 units.
And you found it where?
I actually found this on the MLS.
Okay.
MLS.
So it's listed on the MLS at what price?
It was, at the time, it was listed at 130.
Okay. So it's listed at 130.
Right.
What did you make an offer at?
I just threw the offer out there at 110, honestly. It wasn't that big of a reduction. But because I was involved in a similar deal before with one of your other students where I found a buyer, I knew what the property could sell for.
Okay. So you got it under contract at 110.
I got it under contract at 110.
Okay. And now you started to market it, but you also did something else that we try and get everyone to do all the time. That's go back and redo it.
Right. I renegotiated. I actually, like I said, the other deal that I was involved with down south was a similar 8-unit multifamily, and I know that one sold for about 140 in similar condition.
Okay.
So I advertised it to my buyers list, and immediately I got 2 bites on it, and it kind of drove a bidding war up. I ended up getting a contract for 150.
Oh, you did get one for 150.
I got a contract for 150 initially.
Okay.
So once I got that, I went back to the seller and I renegotiated down to 110. To 100 flat.
100. That was the first time.
That was the first time.
Okay. What did you say to the seller?
I just told him basically my partners and I went to the property and it's in pretty bad shape. You know, we won't be able to do it for 110. We need that at 100.
Now, you told him the 100 and he said okay?
And he said okay.
Okay, but you didn't stop there. You went back a second time.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Why stop?
So you've already used that excuse, so to speak. What did you tell him the second time?
The second time, okay, the main reason that forced me to renegotiate the second time, well, we get to that, but the second time I told him I had an engineer go out there. The first time was just me and my partners looking at it. I had a professional engineer go out there and told me that because of the unsafe structure lien, there was an unsafe structure lien.
Okay.
The extra rehab cost was going to be more than I initially anticipated.
Now, an unsafe structure lien can mean the building is going to be torn down, but they can also go on the property for a couple of reasons. Like if you have a little smoke damage in one of the apartments, what was the reason for the unsafe structure?
Man, there was a lot of issues with that property. It could have been actual structural issues, but mainly I think what caused it to have that lien on there is because it was abandoned and doors were off hinges, windows were wide open.
That's another reason for it. Yeah, it's unsafe because people can go in there and hurt themselves.
Right.
So it wasn't in a sinkhole or anything like that. It hadn't had fire. It just needed to be a lot of rehab on it.
One of the floors, because it was 2 different buildings.
Oh, okay.
And one of the floors was actually sunken down a little bit. So I guess there was some structural issues with the support.
Just to mention something real quickly, that doesn't mean a sinkhole. Sometimes what people do is they leave a hose on outside in the yard. Kids are playing or something like that. And what it does, it keeps soaking the yard, since we have sandy soil down here.
Right.
It literally will make it slushy underneath the foundation, and the foundation settles just a little bit. And that could be what that was. But anyway, so now this poor seller, you whipped down to 90,000, but it's because he's motivated.
Yeah, he was really motivated.
Yeah, he's tired of seeing an abandoned building.
Yeah.
Was there any liens or code violations?
I actually went down to the city and I looked up the liens. It was unsafe structure. There was like a tree removal, a violation for tree removal without permit, and unsecured structure, something like that.
Yeah, unsecured would be boarding it up.
Okay.
Okay. So now you have an offer. You got it down to 90. You have an offer at 150. But what happened to the 150 offer?
Well, the guy, it's a funny story. The guy, I mean, just dealing with the guy, he seems to kind of just shoot off the hip kind of guy. So he's not that much into due diligence. He just saw the Aplex for sale. He made an offer. Okay. He put a sizable deposit down too.
Sounds like us. How long was your inspection period though?
My inspection period, I think, was...
For him though?
For him, Oh,
Yeah.
0 days.
Okay, 0 days for
0
him,
days.
but you had how long? 21 or so?
Yeah, I had about 15 days
Okay, good.
inspection.
All right. So you thought he turned out to be a little flaky, is that what it
Yeah,
turned out to
a
be?
little bit.
So what did you
To say
do?
the
Did you
least.
cancel the contract and get some?
No, okay, so when it came time to close, or he was past his inspection period hard on his deposit, he came back and said, listen, I can't close on this at 145.
Was
You
it
know,
150 or 140?
it was, well, yeah, 150, sorry.
Okay.
And he
And he
said, I
did-
need at 135.
He did the same thing to you. that-
Basically, basically, he did the same thing to me.
Okay.
So that's the reason I renegotiated mainly for the 90, because he talked me down to 135 from 150.
Okay, so now you're looking at a spread from 90 to 135, which normally would be close, walk away, and you're done, right?
Right. Usually,
yeah,
that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case.
The guy at the end, the 135 guy, at closing or close to it, said, by the way, I don't have the money.
By the way, yeah. It just so happens I couldn't find the money. So I talked to Michael at Independent and see try to get a list of hard money lenders.
Yeah, he's one of
Yeah.
our closing agents, and he gave you a list of
He gave me a list. I sent them over to this guy, and none of them would touch it because of the lien.
Well, yeah, and the condition and stuff.
And the condition.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. But the guy still wanted the property. Like none of the lenders wanted to lend on the property, and he's like, listen, I still want the deal. So what I'm gonna do, I released the $10,000 deposit to you just to give me an extra week to get this money together.
Okay.
He released it to me as in like a check to me personally, not to my title company or anything else to be held in escrow.
Well, that was
But-
put up some serious good
Yeah,
faith. Yeah.
that was some good faith. So okay, I said this guy is serious. I gave him an extra week, and what happened? I was out of contract too, so
You passed your inspection.
I was past my inspection period. I was supposed to close, so I went to the seller and basically the same thing he told me. I told him, listen, I need a little bit more time. You know, my partners are having an issue. The guy I was supposed to partner up with isn't coming to the table because of whatever reason. So I'm going to release $2,000 to you. Because my total deposit with him was actually $4,000,
Oh,
or
okay.
$5,000 actually.
So typically, though, in this situation, prior to his telling you he didn't have any money, somebody would have done. I would have done transactional funding, or somebody would have maybe done hard money.
Right.
But probably transactional funding would have closed the same day or next day, and boom, you would have been out.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
now he doesn't have any money, and he's not going to borrow any money either
He couldn't
because
buy
of the
it.
condition.
Yeah.
So okay. So you came up with a. Did you come? I came up with a crazy creative.
Yeah, it probably was you,
Okay.
honestly. Hey, you know, I call you every day, so it's hard to remember what's my idea and what's your idea.
So you said to the
Okay, so I said
buyer
to,
said to you, I have big cash flow.
right.
How much was how much cash flow is he willing to give you weekly towards the property?
Okay, let me get to that.
Okay.
I gave him the week extension. I released $2,000 to the seller
As good faith.
as good faith to get him to give me an extra week, actually week and a half, because I had a feeling this guy wasn't going to close. So I got the extra couple of days. He didn't close on the week. I told him, listen, we need to make this thing happen, or else I'm going to have to go ahead and resell it to somebody else. He saw me. I put it back out to my mailing list.
That's what we always do. When you have a seller that's kind of fudging around, you know he's on your email list, you put the property
buyer,
back out.
Put the property back out there. Let him see it's serious. So I put it back out there, and I probably knocked it down $7,000 from the first price that I put it out at. All right. So he saw that and he said, okay, listen, I'm gonna close. What I'm gonna I'm gonna have my title company. I'm gonna put another $10,000 in your pocket, and you just give me another week. So I said, okay. I went back to the seller again. I said, listen, I'm having issues. I'll give you another $2,000 of this escrow money to give me another week and a half to
Okay.
close.
So now the
Big
guy
surprise, the guy doesn't close in a week and a half.
Oh, gee.
Big-
Now, so far you've collected 20,000.
So far,
But you've lost 4,000
I've lost
potentially.
4.
So you've only made $14,000, haven't even closed.
Yeah, only.
Okay, but you still want to close.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely, because I'm after the, I didn't want to leave any money on the table.
Yeah, so going into the third week.
So going into the third week, this guy said, listen, man, I can't find anybody to lend on this property, but I really want it. I want to get this deal done. I'll pay you $10,500 a week until we pay off my balance.
Okay, and
Right.
how much was that about?
It was 11 weeks remaining. He paid it 11 times, so it was about,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
so he was at 135, he had 115 to pay left.
Okay, so now you went back to the seller and said, oh, by the way, here's how we're going to work this. I'm going to give you how much a week?
I told him I'd give him 8.
Okay. And it
So
turned
it
out
worked out.
for the next 11 weeks.
For the next 11 weeks, I would collect a check for 10.5 and pay out 8 grand. But here's the other kicker, because I knew who I was dealing with.
This crazy guy. On
This
the
crazy guy. I had the contract drafted up. It was crazy. We had to go through attorneys and everything to get it drafted up. I had the contracts, my contract and his contract, where the payment date started 2 weeks apart from each other. So I collected from him for 2 weeks
Okay.
before I started paying the seller, because I know this guy was going to miss a payment or two
Or the checks wouldn't clear or something.
or something.
Yeah.
But, we stuck it out and we wound up closing.
Now,
So,
speaking of that, you came close to the end, and he was like late or something.
Yeah,
And
he
you
was
said to me,
two
I
weeks
got
late."
another offer.
right.
I'm going to take the other offer. What do you think? What did I say?
He said, no, give him a chance to close.
Otherwise, you would have had a very
It's gonna
expensive
be
lawsuit.
it's
on
gonna
your
be a
hands.
lawsuit.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, I didn't want to do it. The guy seemed like a good guy, but I didn't want to get that far into the game
Yeah.
and then the deal fall apart. Then I'm liable to the seller.
So for
You know,
11
so-
weeks, you made about $3,500 a week
Yeah.
net. And then you had already made $16,000 net. So
Right.
you made 51.
No,
2,000.
yeah, but it was 25 a week.
2,500
Yeah,
a week, okay.
25. So
Say 30.
in the end, I kind of walked away with almost the 45.
Okay.
Because the closing costs weren't that much at the end of the time, because the
There you only had a
balances
deed
were down
transfer.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's an extraordinarily creative way to do financing. If you said to me nobody would ever do that, bingo. It depends on how motivated the seller is. If the seller wants out and he sees, in this case, cash flow, and he knows it's going to happen.
Right.
Now the thing remained in his name the whole time,
Right.
so it was not like, okay, I'm going to have to foreclose together.
Did I mention a lien popped up like 2 days before the actual closing?
It always happens.
There was like a contractor put a lien on the property and claimed that he had done work to the property, $45,000 worth of work.
Oh, it's called a mechanical
Yeah,
lien.
mechanical lien.
Yeah,
But
for what for? What did he say he did?
I have no clue, because there was no way he spent $45,000
Yeah.
in the condition that property was in. So on top of the closing, the seller had to put money from the closing into escrow to clear that lien before the money was released.
How much did he put in escrow?
I think he put the full 45 or something
Oh,
like that.
wow.
I can't remember. We'd
Yeah.
have to ask the attorney.
It's a not uncommon scam for a contractor, when he knows the property is going to sell, to put a mechanic's lien on the property just before the sale. And the reason being is, and that's a pretty big one, but if
Yeah.
he'd put one in for $3,500, he probably would have gotten paid.
Yeah, he would definitely would have done
Yeah,
that.
everybody wants to just get rid of it
Just to
and
get
not
out
worry
of it.
about it. But in this case, he overdid it, so he wound up probably not getting anything.
Probably.
So what else can we say about that deal? Remember any other highlights?
Highlights, I mean, never give up, because I was about to give up, but that's why I thank God every day that I have you and Viju to talk to.
I'm changing my phone number.
I'll still find you.
Yeah.
But definitely never give up, and then you fight until to the end, because
Yeah.
you might just give up you might walk away from a lot of money just because you don't think creatively enough.
And you don't stick to it.
You don't stick to it.
Okay. Thank you, my man.
Thanks,
Go
Dave.
back and get them now.
Bye.